Hello, interested viewer. I'm making this video today because I want to tell you about the miracle that's happened in my life. If you have watched any of my other videos, then you kind of have an idea of what I've been going through for the last 8.5 years. Starting in early 2008, I started having, well, pretty much a whole host of symptoms. Problems with thinking, reading, speaking, walking, you name it. My neurological system was a mess, and it took me multiple years to get a diagnosis of complicated migraines. And then this year, when things really went off the rails, I had a diagnosis of hemiplegic migraines without headaches. And I waited to make this video because it's been scary. I mean, I have to admit, it's been going on for so long that part of me was kind of waiting for the other shoe to drop. But I can say with confidence right now, it's been almost 3 months since I've had a problem. May 13th was the last time that I wasn't able to think or talk or read or walk. And it feels like now is the time to tell you what my cure was and explain it a little better so that hopefully it might be able to help somebody else. So this past year has been the worst out of the 8.5, and it was really reaching just an untenable place in March and April. I mean, literally the double downs were happening 3 or 4 times a day. I was absolutely miserable. I didn't leave the house for like 6 weeks. I couldn't, I wasn't functional. And if you've seen any of my other videos, you understand where I was coming from, but I charted, it was like 95% of the time. And there were weeks when I had 100 hours plus of double downs and, 50, 60 hours of not being able to talk. It was insane how bad it was. So we went back to Washington State. That's where we're from, Anacortes, Washington. And I went with the intention of trying medicinal marijuana. I wanted to do some CBD oils and maybe some marijuana that had high CBD concentrations to see if that would help with the neurological problems. And while I was there, my best friend is a chiropractor there, and she suggested that I go see another chiropractor in Anacortes that I used to see, Dr. Jim Bentz. Dr. Bentz practices a chiropractic modality called Neurological Integrated Systems, NIS. It also goes by the name Neuralink. Now let me preface this by saying that I did see Dr. Bentz during the course of my illness, and pretty much right up until we moved from Washington in 2013 and moved to Florida. And while some of the stuff that he did for me was palliative and helped, it wasn't a solution. But when we got back to Washington and I saw him again, it was night and day difference what he was doing. And he explained to me that in the last year or two, the fellow who developed this, Dr. Alan Phillips in Auckland, New Zealand, that he has discovered new techniques and new connections for the brain in order to help pinpoint and just be very exacting in how NIS works. And I know for some people, if you see NIS performed, you might think that it looks hokey pokey or magical, but it is so analytical in the sequence of steps that it goes through in order to determine the problem. And basically what NIS is I like to think of it kind of like a car mechanic. You take your car for a diagnostic and they just kind of plug the chip in and then they can tell you what's wrong with your car. Well, NIS is kind of the same. The practitioner is able to, through kinesiology and Eastern medicine, acupressure points, kind of get a diagnostic run on your brain and then tell your brain to correct it. Your brain is this amazing mechanism that wants to be in homeostasis, and it wants to fix itself, and it needs the right person to put those disconnected circuits back together and cure you. And that's what Jim did for me. He's my hero. He's amazing. I mean, literally 8.5 years of my life going to over 50 physicians, and by the fourth NIS treatment that I had, all of my problems resolved. And like I said, if you've seen any of my previous videos, you understand how bad it was. And, you know, telling you I couldn't walk, I couldn't talk, I couldn't think, I couldn't read. I mean, my life is so different. Today is August 10th, 2016, and since May 13th, 2016, I've probably read 50 books. Not only that, now I'm going to go to nursing school because I want to be an NIS practitioner. After having suffered all that I have, I really want to help other people. And I think that this is revolutionary healthcare. It's absolutely phenomenal. And it doesn't require drugs. As a matter of fact, I have probably taken, I made a list, and I can't recall how many it was, but I would guess somewhere between 35 and 40 medications. And not only that, the last time that I went for blood work, my liver numbers were high because of all of the drugs that I've been taking over the years. I'm going to go get retested now because it's been 2 months, 0 medications. And I mean, I weaned myself off, but at the point when I saw Dr. Bentz last, before I was cured, I literally was watching the clock to take a drug. And after May 13th, I would forget to take my medication and have to remind myself to go take a pill. And I went from taking huge doses of anti-seizure medications down to nothing in like 3 weeks, and I haven't needed it in a couple months. It's a miracle, and I am so happy to report this. And if you have questions, I'm gonna put some information and a website, just some information about NIS on there. I hope there's a practitioner near you. Unfortunately, there just aren't enough in the United States. It's a worldwide organization, but there needs to be. And I, at least for myself, intend to try to get that message out there and to do what I can to help other people. Thank you for watching.